Okay, I'm going to show you how to hang to get more of a decompressive stretching effect through the body by changing our body position. I'm going to show you how to do this on 2 arms and on 1 arm. Then I'm going to show you how to do the opposite, create more of a shortening, stabilizing, active kind of hang, and how the body position affects that, how we can use it to progress. So here's the first one. You're just hanging, right? Just hang off a bar, 2 arms. What we want to do is start to open up this angle. So we exhale and we drop the ribs down. Slightly pushing the hips forward can sometimes help. Most important thing is ribs down. Okay, I'm eliminating the arch in my back so that I get 180 degrees. If I want to take this further now, it's going to be a tuck hang. And if you watch my hips and my spine, you'll notice that when I tuck, they move back slightly. And because my hips and spine are moving back, and my hands are above me, that's asking the shoulders in the middle to move in and to open even more, okay? The next one, you could do an L hang, but I would suggest that that's going to be more of a limitation in ab strength for most people than it will in stretching through the shoulders. Okay, so we can apply the same thing with the passive version to a single arm hang. So we're going to want to drop the chest and sternum down to get a nice stretch through here. There it is. And then that's how we hold. So the ribs aren't flaring, they're not really showing, and I'm getting a nice stretch. If I want to take it further, of course, I can just come into a bit of a tuck. So I start to tuck my knees up, and even now my hips are already moving back, provided I stay hollow and low through the ribs. If I tuck deeper, I'm getting a really strong stretch because my hips and my spine have moved back and the shoulder is being forced to come into more flexion, more opening. So there you go, that's the stretchiest, most decompressive single arm hang and double arm hang. Now we want to do a strengthening version. So what we're going to look at is coming into a little bit of depression, and it's almost going to be like we're shortening the shoulder down towards the opposite hip. So the hand isn't going to stay directly overhead, it's actually going to pull down and slightly forward. So with 2 arms, that looks like this. So it's an active hang, but it's not just pulling back, it's wrapping, keeping the ribs down, really pulling low, okay? And I can hold that. Now to make that more challenging, I'm then going to use the same strategy. So I'm going to tuck the knees, push the hips slightly forward, so we don't want to have this arching, we want to tuck the ribs, and then pulling down. And this is harder, okay? Now to take that further, let's go for single arm, same idea. So we drop the ribs first, and then we're going to pull down and across, okay? So my hand is shortening down through the sternum towards the opposite hip. And if I tuck, that becomes much harder. So what we're doing here is we're just using the tucking strategy to overload the hang, both with a stretching effect and a shortening effect. And you can see with the shortening effect that if it were to go further, you'd be building towards something like a single arm toaster bar. Because we're learning to pull the shoulders back and get the hips forward while in an active hang. So there you go. Enjoy.